Good evening, we're at Anfield. It is live football to come in about 24 minutes' time when Liverpool take on West Ham United on the home of London Sport. But first, let's have a slight change of pace, shall we? Although they do say the Premier League is more of a marathon than a sprint. There's a good chance that this year's London Marathon will raise more for charity than last year's record of £47.2 million. One of the runners that's likely to get huge cheers is Hayden the Womble, the mascot of AFC Wimbledon. Dean Parsons, the man inside the suit on Sunday. I'm delighted to say that Dean is on the line. Evening to you, Dean.
Hi, Phil.
So, is this your first marathon?
It is indeed.
It is. Maybe your last.
Yeah.
Depending on how you go. Why did you decide to do it?
Basically, I was asked by a very good friend of the Children's Trust who I'm running for. He's 65 and still with the mascot for them, Tab of the Hound. If anyone else asked, I'd have told him to go away, basically. But yes. When he asks, you know, he's just such a keen volunteer for the Children's Trust, you can't but not say, yes, OK. So that's how I did it, and somehow it managed that I've been doing Hayden and Womble for 4 years, and he's been a part of me, and there's no way I could do such a long journey of 26 miles without him along for the ride. But unfortunately, that means that I'm inside.
No, absolutely. When did you start training?
I started in January. I literally got asked on January the 4th and started training on January the 5th. So, yes. Are you relatively fit anyway? I mean, is this something that you could just pick up the training and start going for? Or do you really have to start from scratch? I'd never ran more than 10 kilometres before. Yeah, well, I've refereed, I've ran around as Hayden, I've done mascot races that are a furlong long. I'd say I'm not a pedigreed long-distance runner of no mean feat, but with the incentive of the children at the Trust and the fans of AFC Wimbledon and friends and family, I'm becoming one.
Absolutely. So when you train, I mean, I've done two. I was hoping to do this year's, but I've had to pull out of this year's marathon. When you train, did you train with the suit? Have you trained with weights? How have you prepared for the fact that you're going to be running around the streets of London wearing a very heavy Womble outfit?
Thankfully, I started in January when we had the very cold snow, etc. So I was wearing extra clothing, which was fine back in January. But in the last month, it's got harder and harder. But I've done a couple of test runs in Hayden as well, so I'm quite confident.
And what sort of time have you targeted, or is it just a case of getting round?
It is just a case of trying to get round before the pub closes, basically.
Will you be picking up litter as you go, by the way?
I did think about it, but I think, you know, the pubs would definitely be closed if I did that. Yeah,
no, unless the litter's got the Queen's head on and, you know, donations of maybe 5, 10, 20s, 50s.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I've got such terrible vision of the Womble that I wouldn't be able to see them either.
So, is there going to be a couple of you running around together then? How many have you got? A little entourage?
Yes, thankfully, I've got friends and family that are sort of every 3 miles with energy gels, towels, water, anything I need to sort of keep me going, jam sandwiches, whatever is needed. So, thankfully, I've got people around, and there's a lady from the Trust, Angie, who's injured, so she said, look, I'll just come along with you, you know, we can do it slowly together, so hopefully we'll get each other through it. So thankfully I've got some alongside me all the way, and as I say, AFC Wimbledon fans, my wife, my daughter, I mean my mum, everyone you can think of are around the course cheering me on. So
absolutely brilliant stuff. And as far as the Children's Trust is concerned, just tell us a little bit about the charity.
It's an amazing charity. I mean, I first visited there being Hayden and Womble, you know, visiting the children and going around the wards, and you can't help but be moved by the bravery of them. I mean, there's Rebecca Cole, she's doing a mile, along with Phil Packer, he's doing 26 miles, and every mile he's doing is with a different child with a disability, and she's doing a mile, so she's a huge inspiration. Then there's a lad called Alfie who basically was told he would never walk after a severe car crash, and he's now a football coach and also did the Vietnam 70-kilometre trek back in January. So people like that and the staff and the volunteers are just such an inspiration that if I'm struggling at any point, I will think of them. It will get me through it. So.
Fantastic stuff. Well, listen, best of luck. How can people sponsor you? I could take it you can still raise money?
Yep, you certainly can. If you go to UK Virgin Money /Hayden-Womble, you'll find it there. So
Brilliant.
Any donation would really help us. Really worthwhile cause. They're an amazing charity, helping children with multiple disabilities, with care, education, therapy. They really are, they've touched me, and they would certainly touch a lot of others if anyone else even looked at the website and saw the amazing stories there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, Dean, best of luck with it. Enjoy it, because it is an amazing event to be part of. Running out of there, you will get so much recognition. Just enjoy it and soak up the atmosphere and let the suit soak up the sweat, and let's hope it's not too hot. Thanks very much for being with us tonight, and best of luck on Sunday. So if you want to sponsor him, then go along and do that as well. And listen, if you've never been out to watch the marathon, go out on Sunday, because just being part of it, just to watch, is just extraordinary. And I tell you what, if you go out and if you've ever thought about running, you go out and watch it, you may well be thinking about running next year as a consequence, because it's extremely inspirational. It's Monday Night Sport on BBC London 94.9. West Ham United against Liverpool from Anfield to come tonight. Little bit behind schedule. Let's get you up to date, though, with the latest travel situation.